are policed. And as you know, not long after that, Goliath was elevated to the place of chief of police, where he was able to institute a number of those things that we recommended and actually that we argued over. Now, a secondary committee is being asked to come together. To the best of my knowledge, it's about racial profiling. My only interest is a change in policy. My only interest is justice and fairness. One of the things, and Chimarenga referred to my former involvement with the NAACP. One of the things that I've discovered is that there's certain organizations that are sold out. And they're there as apologists for the way things are.
Yes.
Come on.
And because of let me just give you a couple of examples, if I may. The NAACP came out with a policy in opposition to Step Up for Students, a fund that's there to help a lot of our children have choices to leave the public school and to seek out places where they can succeed. When I arrived in Tallahassee to speak on behalf of that, I was told that I could not represent myself as connected with the NAACP because they were suing it. And so I did just that. I removed the NAACP from my name and I spoke as a private citizen who happened to have a school where Step Up for Student funding has helped many children have a better shot at success in the school system. Well, later on, as the papers showed, that was one of the reasons that they held against me for a suspension. But here's another one, and it's even more indicative of what happened. When I was given a letter from the General Counsel of the NAACP telling me to cease and desist any activity demonstrating against Duke Energy, I had no idea there was going to be a demonstration. But because the person who had a vendetta against me bragged about her association with Duke Energy and how she could get money from them, just the hint that I was going to be involved in a demonstration against them got to the national office, and the General Counsel for the NAACP ordered me not to have anything to do with something I knew nothing about. I want you to understand, brothers and sisters, that generally speaking, whenever I'm involved with an organization that wants us to follow the party line, I usually piss them off. Because I'm about speaking up for what's right. It doesn't matter. Some of you know about my brief congressional run until I was told it was a white seat. And so I was disallowed from being able to be connected with the funding sources that every other candidate receives because it was a white seat. What am I saying? I'm saying that this community is the only community that I choose to represent. And any organization that I'm a part of has to have as its sole purpose to uplift this community. By that I mean, if the NAACP is fighting for integration, where since we've integrated, our children have been on the bottom rung of every identifiable data source, I'm no longer for simple integration.
Yes.
I believe that the only way black people are going to have a shot at living and thriving is you got to take your community back. Let me make it abundantly clear. I'm not against whites. I don't paint people with a broad brush as it's done to us. I'm simply saying that we have got to stand up and declare by any means necessary that you cannot come in this community and do what you want to do in the name of law and order and escape this community without punity.
Yes.
I'm saying secondarily that the meetings that I'm involved in have at its heart to demand resources. Somebody said, well, you joined the Republican Party because you're mad at the Democrats and mad at NAACP. I told them I joined the Republican Party because they sat there and promised me they're going to bring some money into this community. And I don't mean the kind of money that's just to pay off a few black leaders or a few black entrepreneurs. I mean money for this community where everybody in this community have an opportunity to grow businesses, to create wealth, and to own their own homes. We're not talking about gentrification, we're talking about empowerment. So I want you to know, I'm firmly aware and I firmly believe. For instance, my own son, I pulled him out of public school because I realized that the chipping away at his self-esteem had already begun. I'm saying that if your child is having a problem, you're responsible, not the school system. Take them out, because you will hit them in the pocket. They won't get money for a child that's not sitting there. Why would you allow them to be paid for flunking your child and beating down their self-esteem? Remember, our community and its economics were based solely upon the fact that we were disallowed participation in the mainstream American economy. We wanted to be a part so bad that the moment the gate opened, we rushed in and changed our capital into their capital. Right. We bolstered their business and their economy to the degree that we consider an economy as large as most third world countries as a people, and yet out of that investment we get nothing in return. Right. I'm saying it's better to do for yourself. Yes. It's better to, when you negotiate, to negotiate from a platform of strength, rather than weakness. And I'm saying I still believe that we are smart enough, that we are strong enough, that we're capable of taking care of our community and especially our children. And I hope those of us that are a little long in the tooth like me, that have lived some length of time, are willing to tell anybody, before you shoot my child, you got to come through me. All right.